Welcome to our defense briefing program. I'm your host, Yang Zheng. We have a lineup of intriguing stories for you. First up, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham is under fire for his controversial social media posts about Palestinians, sparking protests outside his home. Next, take a lighter turn to New Boston, where the 93rd Red Annual 4th of July Parade dazzled with an alien space theme, featuring floats from Area 15 and the Boston Celtics championship duck boat. Finally, in a more serious tone, we delve into the escalating drone strategies between the U.S. and China, as both nations prepare for potential conflict over Taiwan. Please stay tuned for the detailed coverage of these stories. Al Jazeera United States Senator Lindsey Graham ignited controversy with his recent social media post, labeling Palestinians in Gaza as the most radicalized population on the planet. He equated the phrase "from the river to the sea" with a Nazi final solution, further inflaming tensions. Graham's remarks came in response to a small protest outside his home, where demonstrators held out Palestinian flag and chanted slogans. The senator's comments, coinciding with the July 4th holiday, drew criticism for their timing and content, especially given his support for extreme measures against Gaza. This incident is part of a broader pattern of anti-Palestinian rhetoric among some U.S. politicians, which has contributed to a rise in anti-Muslim hate crimes. The U.S. continues to provide substantial military aid to Israel despite growing public disapproval and calls for humanitarian safeguards. Yahoo U.S. The town of New Boston, with a population of about 6,000, celebrated its 93rd Red 4th of July parade with a blend of Americana and science fiction themes. Residents and visitors filled Central Square, enjoying floats inspired by Area 50, The Wizard of Oz, and local legends like the Molly Stark Cannon. Christensen, riding on an alien-themed float, captured the spirit of the event, which featured fire trucks, mini monster trucks, Girl Scouts, and giant water guns. Olivia Philippi, dressed as Dorothy, reflected on the bittersweet nature of the day as she prepared to leave for college. The parade included elaborate floats like Haley Abduction on McCurdy Road and a large Kelly Green Duck boat showcasing the Boston Celtics championships. The event, organized by Laura Bernard, highlighted the deep-rooted traditions and community spirit of New Boston, making it a magical experience for all involved. South China Morning Post: The People's Liberation Army (PLA) of China has revealed its capability to enforce a blockade on an island using drone swarms. According to a recent study, this strategy, aimed at a terrain similar to Taiwan, involves various types of drones launched from mainland bases and naval vessels to perform reconnaissance and strikes. The PLA simulation results suggest that a certain threshold of drone diversity and scale can effectively control an island and its surrounding waters. Concurrently, the U.S. military has developed its own drone-centric strategy, Hellscape, to counter potential PLA actions in the Taiwan Strait. This plan, spearheaded by Admiral Samuel Paparo, aims to create an unmanned hellscape to delay PLA advances and minimize U.S. casualties. The exchange of drone warfare strategies highlights the escalating military tensions and technological advancements between China and the U.S., with both nations preparing for potential conflicts in the region. Bloomberg 街道户长信用卡 Keir Starmer's Labour Party is on the brink of a historic victory in the UK general election, as projected by an official exit poll. Labour is anticipated to win 410 out of 650 seats in the House of Commons, marking their most significant triumph since Tony Blair's landslide in 1996. This result would signify a dramatic shift in British politics, reflecting the downfall of Rishi Sunak's Conservatives, who are expected to plummet to 130 in seats. Their worst performance ever, Starmer's rise to power would be a remarkable turnaround from Labour's dismal performance under Jeremy Corbyn 5 years ago. Starmer's strategy of steering Labour towards the political centre and presenting it as the party of economic stability, coupled with the Conservative Party's internal chaos and scandals, has resonated with voters. Markets have remained calm, with little change in the pound against the dollar and euro, indicating confidence in Labour's potential governance. Yahoo US: Russian President Vladimir Putin has dismissed the idea of a ceasefire in Ukraine, arguing that it would only allow Kiev to rearm and prepare for further attacks. Putin emphasized the need for a sustainable solution to the conflict, referencing past agreements that failed to hold. At the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit in Astana, He stressed that Russia cannot afford to let Ukraine use a ceasefire to strengthen its military position. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has also rejected ceasefire proposals, demanding Russia's complete withdrawal from occupied territories as a precondition for peace. Meanwhile, back in Russia, Dmitry Medvedev announced that the armed forces have been bolstered by 190 new volunteer recruits this year. On the ground, the Ukrainian army has been forced to retreat from parts of Chasiv Yar in the Donetsk region after intense fighting, with the town now resembling a lunar landscape due to bombardments. Associated Press. Mexico's incoming president, Claudia Sheinbaum, has announced her top appointees, but the new cabinet features many familiar faces from the outgoing administration. Rosa Isla Rodriguez, who led the previous government's security strategy, will serve as the new Interior Secretary, a role critical for managing domestic political issues and negotiations. Omar Garcia, known for his tenure as Mexico City Police Chief, will head the Public Safety Department, although his control will be limited as the National Guard is set to be transferred to the Army. Rodriguez's appointment has raised eyebrows due to her lack of political experience and association with the hugs not bullet strategy of the previous administration. Sheinbaum has pledged to continue and Manuel López Obrador's policies, has also retained several other officials from his cabinet, dampening hopes for a fresh approach. Notably, Sheinbaum has appointed experts in sustainable development and finance to key positions, signaling a data-driven policy approach. Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Senator Fatima Paiman, a young Muslim woman who wears a hijab, has made headlines by leaving the Labour Party to join the Crossbench. Her decision reflects the growing diversity in Australian politics and the complex pressures within her party. Paiman, born in Afghanistan and having fled the Taliban, has been vocal about her reasons, citing her inability to remain silent on atrocities she witnesses. Despite support from some Labour branches, she felt compelled to leave due to the party's stance on the Israel-Hamas conflict. Paiman's departure highlights the internal strains within Labour and signals a new phase in Australian multiculturalism, where religious and ethnic communities are becoming more politically active. This shift raises concerns about the potential for political movements based on religion, which could disrupt traditional party dynamics and challenge social cohesion. Al Jazeera. The recent presidential debate in the United States has intensified speculation about President Joe Biden's future, especially given his faltering performance and the growing dissatisfaction within the Democratic Party over his unwavering support for Israel's war in Gaza. Potential replacements like Vice President Kamala Harris, Governors Gretchen Whitmer and Gavin Newsom, and others have varied stances on the conflict, ranging from calls for ceasefires to staunch support for Israel. Harris, for instance, has shown some willingness to call for a truce, while Whitmer and Newsom have expressed strong support for Israel's right to defend itself. The war in Gaza, which has resulted in significant Palestinian casualties, has fractured the Democratic base, with young voters, progressives, Arabs and Muslims expressing their discontent. This internal division poses a significant challenge for any new Democratic candidate who may replace Biden, as they will need to navigate these complex and emotionally charged issues to unify the party. South China Morning Post. A significant development has occurred in the ongoing Gaza conflict, with Hamas showing flexibility in negotiations for a potential hostage release deal with Israel. This breakthrough, as described by a senior U.S. official, has led to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sending a delegation to resume stalled talks with Hamas. The proposed deal includes the gradual release of hostages, a temporary ceasefire, and the reconstruction of Gaza. Palestinians in Gaza, weary from nearly 9 months of war, hope for an end to the conflict that has claimed over 30. Despite the cautious optimism, the situation remains tense, with continued Israeli strikes and Palestinian casualties. The war has created a severe humanitarian crisis, with medical facilities in Gaza struggling to operate. The international community watches closely, hoping for a resolution that could bring much-needed relief to the war. Torn region. BBC. Most people are familiar with the Salvation Army's charitable endeavors, often recalling their bands playing at community events or performing Christmas carols. However, few know about the brief existence of the Salvation Navy, which began in Wales in 1884 when Salvation Army founder William Booth sought to extend his evangelism to the sea. Coincidentally, Welsh industrialist John Corey was looking to offload his steam yacht, the SSE Oli, which his wife found it daunting to sail. Corey's generous offer birthed the Salvation Navy. Despite Corey's devout faith, his motivations included bolstering his reputation and promoting sobriety among his workers. In June 1885, the SSE Oli, adorned with Salvation Army colors and evangelical flags, set sail from Cardiff's Bute Dock. The yacht's luxurious fittings drew mixed reactions, with the Salvation Army newspaper The War Cry noting the incongruity of such opulence for Salvationists. Under Captain Sherrington Foster, the SSE Oli embarked on a mission to bring salvation to fishermen and sailors along England's south coast. However, the venture was plagued with misfortune. In June 1896, the SSE Oli struck a sandbank in the Humber, leading to its abandonment. Undeterred, Corey provided a more formidable vessel, the Salvation 的五角使用塔, equipped with a meeting room for over 100 Salvationists. Despite their efforts, including a successful Christmas campaign in Cardiff, the new ship, the vessel, also met a tragic end, colliding with another craft on the Thames. The idea of a Salvation Navy fleet was eventually abandoned, but the initiative inspired numerous private Christian missions for sailors, significantly contributing to maritime welfare in the 19th century and leaving a lasting legacy in seafarer support. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 60O team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks and government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 60O Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 60O team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 60O Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 60O Brief. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 60O Brief via mail.
News breaks, buzz the ground, stories spin, walls come down, voices merge in the sound, faces mix in the crowd. Broadcasters paint the scene, world events on our screen, every link a different theme, words collide in the stream. 6 degrees connect the dots, background stories more than us. The voices rise aloft, truth unveils in every spot. Cultures clash across the globe, spin the threads in a strobe. Every story wears a robe, truth and lies in their code. Journalists dig real deep, secrets out, they don't sleep. Every angle they will keep, in the news we take a leap. New perspectives day by day, hidden truths come to play.